etiquette. How are we... Now, this is going to be a discussion, okay? I have not put down anything on paper. And the reason why I want it to be discussion is because I also fully concede that there are certain practices and approaches that in my generation worked. Because some things are just contextual. But in this generation may not work. So, the question is broad. It's about how do we go about dating in a godly way? What are the things that we need to be aware of, watch out for, avoid, in general? You know, how do we even get... Hey, guys, how do you guys even do it? You know, when we were growing up, we had neighbors, we had school friends, we had family friends that we knew. That was where we started. But today, you're just there. You don't know anybody, you don't know your neighbors, you don't even know your cousins. And now you have to be forced to go into this, I'm going to call it a jungle, called the internet, and do online dating. Now, and I'm not even sure how I'm going to tackle this one, but I'm going to ask a question. How does it work today, guys? See, we met because we were in university together. We're in the same choir in the university. We end up in the same church. There was no internet, there was no dating sites and all of that, and there was no need for them. But today we find people, young people are growing up in isolation. You know, they're away from home, they're coming from broken homes, so that's not even a safe place. And I must say, I feel like I'm rambling now, but I'm just trying to lay the foundation. I must say this. There was a time when church was a safe place. If you dated somebody in church, you feel okay, at least. But what I've seen is not like that anymore. It's not as safe as it used to be. Because in church, there's all kinds of people with all kinds of problems, all kinds of issues. And you may say, well, that's a safe place. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to do that. I'm simply saying it's not as safe as it used to be. You know, where you see the things the same way, you've got the same moral values and the same aspirations and all of that, and you're all about the Lord and so forth. And now you come in the same church, you've got people on east and west and north and south in the same church, you know. And so it's not so. My question to you, please help me. How do you do it? Where do you start? How do you go about this dating business? You're helping me now. Because as far as this is a problem. How do you meet people that are safe? They must tell us. Vele, they must tell us. Tell us, nenza kanjani. I'm waiting for an answer now. Yes, Acho. Is there a mic? Are we recording this? Okay. Huh?
We don't meet anyone.
So she's confessing. We don't meet anyone, anywhere.
Most people do online dating, and for me, I'm scared.
Okay.
It's a jungle.
It's a jungle. It's not a safe place in your mind. Okay? All right. Let's be honest. Tell me, how do you guys do it? Go ahead. Pass the mic.
I think it's with every type of relationship, lower expectations. Everyone in church is still human. I think also coming into church saying that, oh no, people who are in church are, at least they love the Lord. No, it's not true.
There you are.
It's
The
not
truth.
true. We are all still healing. It's like if maybe you like me and you don't know that I'm still healing from all men are trash type of mindset. You're gonna meet me in church because I'm in the building, but then when you start talking to me, I spew all of these things, and now you're like, "Hey, church is not safe." No, we must lower expectations.
So you're saying you must
Anyway.
adjust
Yes,
expectations.
treat everyone in church like humans, not I don't want to say, but not Jesus. We are not
Don't
all.
put them on a pedestal.
Yes, don't put them on a pedestal. The same grace that you want. You want to say, I'm not perfect, I'm human. So are they. So when you come, even for friendships, it's the same. Even for like any other thing, even for like when we are in youth or anything, it's just a matter of understand that this person is still human and they're on the same journey as you. So when you come and you find out, oh, maybe there's this guy that I like, but he's busy with other girls, don't now say the church. No, this guy is not yet healed in that area.
I like that. I think that's a healthy perspective because we do have a tendency to generalize. A lot of people would just generalize that because these two guys are not safe, therefore we say the church is not safe. Whereas in fact it's just these individuals, and so, but also the fact that, I'm just summarizing, that we must adjust expectations. That we're all on a journey. Someone put it this way, that the church is a hospital. Some are responding to treatment. You can finish the rest of the sentence. Not everybody is responding to treatment, but the treatment is there. Here's a treatment today. We're talking about marriage readiness, but not everybody has responded to the treatment that we are getting today. So yes, let's hear some more.
I have another one, Apostle. We also meet through our friends. We hook each other up.
You do, eh?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
Whether from a corporate space where you do see that you're friends with a sister, and then you're like, okay, cool, man. It's like she's in her late 20s and stuff, and you know that her heart, she yearns for marriage. And then you have another friend of yours, like, okay, they may be compatible. Let me hook them up on a blind date.
Oh.
Right? So in the blind date,
far.
yeah, exactly. Not even intro, right, chefs and stuff. So you can say, Shabi, please be at this Tasha's at this day. I'm not going to give you this person's number until it's 1 hour before you guys meet, so that you can say, hey, I'm here, you here, right? So that you don't check their social media profile, you don't check anything about them. It's not about the looks, but for me as a friend, I'm hooking you guys up based on how I see your compatibility.
This actually goes on.
Yeah.
Wow. Matchmaker. Hey, but you know what? Let me just be transparent. We've had these discussions as pastors. Because this is a challenge, and that's why I'm asking genuinely. Because we as pastors look at our congregations, we see how many are single and how many are married. We want to help. So we've had these discussions, no one followed through. We said, you know what? Let's bring all of our singles together across churches. Whatever you call it, but don't let it be just preaching. Let it be something social as well, so that we'll see what God does. Because these ponds are small, the fish are few. So now, but if you bring them together, the numbers will balance sooner or later. And maybe someone will meet somebody. You know, we're not matchmaking. We just create an environment for young people to meet socially. You know, and let happen what happens, you know, from there. I'm just saying that, and I have a pastor friend from Canada. In fact, I can tell you his name, Apostle Roger Gashwe. Was it last year? He sent me 3 photographs. Beautiful young ladies. Showed to both of us. Degrees. Smart. Working. Integrity, living for Jesus. He says to me, Apostle, do you have any men for my daughters? I want them to get married. I had to respond and say, man of God, I've got the same problem. I can send you 15 pictures. These young ladies need husbands. So it's a universal problem, you know, but I'm saying it's not that we don't think about it. Yeah, because the main, I think the starting problem is where do you meet? How do you meet? You know, and maybe from there we can come up with a solution. But, you know, then we've joked with my wife and said, you know what, we must go back to the days of Abraham. I was reading about Eliezer. Maybe we should go back to those days and find husbands for our daughters? No, we're joking. We'll find wives for our sons because it's carnage out here. I'll get fever. It's killing fields. And then, of course, we say, no, it's too late for that. The culture won't allow. But the thought comes up to say, hey, Gandhi, how long before you be able to find the right man? I'm just joking, but I'm serious. At the same time, to say, how do you do it? How do you get to meet? Let alone go to marriage. Just meet potentials. How do you do it? Tell us. Yes, Pastor.
This is not a joke, what I'm going to say. You are a man of God, ain't it? No.
I'm very careful when someone approaches me from that angle.
Highly empowered.
Oh, Lord.
The Bible says, you shall decree a thing, it shall be established. You are a father with daughters.
Yes.
Apostle,
And sons.
flex your muscles.
Oh.
And decree things.
Okay.
No, God, just seriously, now this is really serious. It's a serious, not a joke.
Okay.
No, Apostle, I'm just thinking, as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking, no, man, why is he saying this instead of just decreeing? You have to just decree things on your daughters and your sons. And Apostle, without even thinking, it's not going to happen because Luke 10 has given you, 10:9 has given you power and authority over.
Now,
You
the
know
thing,
that.
the thing
And
about now
Mark
you're putting
11
it on me.
No, hold on. Apostle, I've got a point, Apostle. I've got a point. You know, sometimes as daughters and sons, we are coming to our parents. So at some point, our parents need to make decrees. Come on, prophet. You've got a beautiful marriage. So it means you have every spice for it. So I'm giving you now a platform this very afternoon to issue decrees.
Okay, we will do that.
Thank you,
We can do that, for sure.
Thank you.
I think that my male side of me and my leadership side of me wants a practical side as well. I'll give you one example. This has just been a thought, and I'm just provoking discussion. Not action at this point, but we will pray and decree because that blessing is important. And I want to say something further. on that point, which is even more serious. A lot of people are going into life without a blessing. If you read your Bible, Abraham blessed Isaac. Isaac blessed Jacob. Jacob blessed his sons. Israel blessed his sons. There's something about the power of a blessing. And the problem has been on the parent side. Many times parents have been responsible for speaking the opposite. Wena, you'll never get married. Well, you're so lazy, Wen. Or whatever. No, your sister will get married, but you. And some of us grew up in that, not realizing the power of words over our lives. Whereas everybody must go into life with a blessing. There's another side to it, because we've got a generation that's like Esau, that doesn't realize the value of a blessing, doesn't seek for it. And so that's why the Bible says, Esau I've hated, but Jacob I've loved. Jacob valued is looking for that blessing. So there's that side too, and that disempowers the people with the power to bless when they see that the people are putting no weight and no value on it. So I'm saying that to say we will come back to that. And that there is a blessing that we must release upon our singles. Let me put it that way. But I want to remind you, there are prophetic words in the house. This year, especially. It's going to be a year of hooking up and getting married this year and next year. So you must grab a hold of that. But here's the thought that I had practically also. This may stretch somebody because this involves some financial means. And this is kind of like an undercover expose. Prophet Sherry and I travel in ministry. She gets invited to preach in places. I get invited. We go together. We go to nations. Maybe, I'm not putting it out there. Next time this happens, perhaps what I'll do is put it out there. If anybody wants to come with us, you have to pay for yourself. A couple of weeks I'll be in Kenya, for example. We've been invited to Trinidad. I've got invitations from Barbados. We've got friends in the Virgin Islands, Jamaica, USA, Canada. These are the places we go to. These are the places you can meet people. So long as it's not Haiti. What do you mean by Haiti? Haiti. There's no open doors to Haiti right now. And you pick and choose. Look at the case in point. The prophet says, get passports. I found her in another country. So I'm just putting it out there. Maybe I should do that. And you must get the message when I put it out there. Don't just say, Apostle will pray for you. And then you don't even pray. You'll come and say, Apostle, can I come too? I'll say, get your tickets. We'll book the itinerary. Let's go. After all, as a single person, if you want to go somewhere to visit, and how can you? You want to go to the Mediterranean, you don't know anybody. She's like, I'm going to go there and just look at seas and trees and birds for 2 weeks and come back. Is that attractive? Not to me. What if we had a singles cruise? Now I want to blow your mind. And we came together with other churches. Now I want to blow the religious mind too. But it's going to have some Christian thing. Maybe something like this, marriage readiness cruise. And then I talked to my pastor's friend. Yesterday I was talking with Bishop Musa Sono. And he was ministering at Oasis of Life with Apostle Bishop Isaac Sitole. We go back 30, 40 years with these people. And you can just talk and say, guys, when are we, let's think about this. Let's have a singles cruise from all of our churches and take the whole ship. 500, whatever the number is, singles. And then we know in the morning we have our sessions. Afternoon, you go swimming, put on your swimming trunks, strut your stuff. Do whatever, have fun in the evening. It's dinner, dress up, look good, interact. I'm just putting something out there to say that there's more than the prayer part. There's some things we can do because that is the thing, is how do we people meet? And I'm not saying that everybody's going to be kosher. I can't vet them. You have to check for yourself and discern. Is this a shark? This is a fish. What is this? Anyway, I'm just throwing it out there that this is our heart. We want all of you to be happily married. And we are thinking about you. And we are praying for you. All right? But I'm pausing. Sandra, go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to support the issue of people meeting in the workplace.
Okay?
I have met people in the workplace or maybe in the business sector, when you're in business meetings on different forums. But one thing that I've realized is you meet the wrong people, then I am very quick to discern. Mm-hmm. Literally, like if I have a conversation with you for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I know.
Yeah.
At times you can exchange numbers, but then if you have a conversation for a week, then I know that no, something is off here. Mm-hmm. So for me, I think it's more of searching your character, because character will never lie. And for me to be able to discern where exactly, what is it that you're looking for? I hear what you're saying, but there's something deep. You realize that, okay, this person is a Christian or perceives to be a Christian, but still behind it there is some ancestral worship.
Okay.
They will tell you, no, I'm born again, but my ancestors, which is something that I don't subscribe to.
Right.
So yeah, if maybe you can also help us there.
How do you want me to help you?
Yes,
You're the one there. You were doing the right thing by discerning.
Yeah.
But it's true that you meet people in the marketplace, but you have to have your discernment antennas up. But yes, that's a place to meet people. That's a place to meet people. But that's why, again, I want to emphasize the progression is dating. Because that's where you vet things to see if there's potential. Then you're praying, okay, this one has potential, let's hear from God. Once you've heard from God, now this is going to move. Now you go to courtship, okay, which is now serious preparation for marriage, okay? And that serious preparation for marriage is not just about the wedding. It's about the marriage. I tell, young people all the time, I say, you do what you want in your wedding. I'm not concerned about the wedding. We will do it. My concern is the marriage. So you come and talk to us so we can at least help you get your marriage on the right foundation. Because that's why I'm not so concerned. Are you going to have 50 people in your wedding? Are you going to have a traditional wedding and dress this? That's not the point. Are you going to go white wedding, if there's such a thing, and you're going to come in white, and you're going to have 15 bright, whatever. That's not my concern. My concern is the marriage. That's where I come in. So, yeah. That's another discussion. We might get time to get into that. But I hear what you're saying, yeah? That's a place to meet people, yeah. But you must discern. And then you think of this journey to vet. Then now, once you cross over to say, hey, we believe this is God. And I think I need to talk to that after this question. That bridge is critical. Yeah. And then you go from there. Yes, Caesar?
I think my question is around that bridge.
Okay, that bridge.
Of recent videos and stuff, there's a video where someone said that they dreamt.
So what? Say it again.
Someone said
What did you say?
God told them that.
What me?
That happened.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa, that video.
So now,
last
the question.
Sunday. Eish, my daughter.
Now, about that bridge. No?
Yes.
Okay. So,
For the sake of those who don't know, you must watch that video because people were fessing up about things. And there's supposed to be no judgment and all this. And I'm sitting there, I'm set up. I don't even know what they're going to say. So all this, they're just popping off on all this stuff. And then one person says something like, I believe that Caesar is my husband. And then everyone says, no judging. We're not judging you. You see? So that's what he's referring to.
yeah, I was going to ask in terms of now that bridge and that stage of from dating, you said, to now courting and then marriage.
Right.
So the trouble we're having, I think, as a generation is this dating part here. Because the courtship part, we know, okay, we're going to get ready for marriage and we need to talk about things. Premarital counseling, we have kind of an idea what we should do there for marriage. But now the dating part, how do we navigate when we don't hear clearly whether it is or is not what God wants, for one? For two, how do we apply either grace or logic or wisdom or be cutthroat about certain things? How do we navigate that space well? Because everyone's human, right? But say there's some areas where you're like, okay, God did say something, but my wisdom is saying this is going to end badly with this person, but I did hear, I think. So there's a lot of things here that I wanted to find out. How do we navigate that space? 80% heart, 20% mind, or is it,
Right.
50% wisdom? Yeah, so.
Now that's a real question. Okay. No, not that the others were not real. But that's real right there. How do we know we're making the right decision? All right. Let me start off with this. When our generation, talk about these things, we grew up in a generation that, I guess, we gave the impression that when God spoke to us, it was something dramatic. And I'm speaking generally. In my case, it was dramatic. When 5 years before I met her, I had a vision. But it wasn't a vision of sight, it was a vision of sound. I remember where I was in Lagos at that time. And I heard this person singing. And I thought it was an angel. The reason is because in the singing, I heard and discerned such a purity of soul that I said, no, only an angel can be that pure. And the voice was beautiful too. So I'm listening to this voice. It's early in the morning. I'm waking up in the morning, I'm hearing this singing, just about one song. And then afterwards, I was like, wow, Lord, who was that? And the Lord said, that's your wife. So, he says to me, when you hear that voice, you will know she's the one. Now, let's rewind and let's get real about this. 1 year passes. 2 years pass. 3 years pass. By the 4th year, I'm getting agitated now. I'm like, where is this person? I'm not I was going for the mid-20s now. And so, now it gets to the 4th, 5th year. And then, a long story shorter, there's a series of events that happens now. She comes to the university. I could put so many details there, but I don't want to park on this. Series of events. She comes to university. I'm already there. I'm in the choir already. I'm a preacher of the choir and all this. So people are coming and going. It's a university. Freshmen, people graduating. So she's one of the girls. Okay, I don't pay no mind. Okay, because that was not me. I was not into girls as such. I was like, when it's time, it's time. So she came to the Souls of Fire choir, and she actually comes to church. My church, which I was already attending, and I like to sit near the front, and I was a leader anyway, so I was a leader, minister. But the strangest thing happened. I'm going somewhere with this, about the progression of how God speaks, and when you are getting warm or hot about a matter, that is not just one direction. It's going to come from different directions. I'm sitting near the front, and my bishop is preaching, and the man preaches. And he's on fire. Then, because she was waiting for a ride, that person who was giving her a ride was late. So she comes and sits in the back of the church. And so it's a small church. So I look back, and there she is. And then suddenly, it's like my ears went on mute. I could not hear the preacher. He was like talking, but I'm not hearing anything. All I'm aware of, she's here. I said, hey, Bo. And so what? Who's here? She's here. I said, the devil. I said, no one's going to stop me from hearing the word of God. I don't care who she is. So now my remedy for infatuation, 3 days fasting, prayer. I said, I know how to deal with this. Can't get me, devil. Can't go to church and can't hear the word of God because of a woman. So I go on a 3-day fast. I haven't said anything. I don't even know her name yet. I go on a 3-day. The more I prayed, the more I fasted, the stronger the thing became. After the 3rd day, I was like, okay. At least I'll talk to her. I need to know her name. Let me at least talk to her. And, okay, just leave me alone. Just give me some peace, Lord. Because I'm like, what is this? So long story short, it wasn't long after that, and we actually meet. And we talk, this is my name, blah, blah, blah. And it so happens other things happened, and I was going to be ordained, and another thing happened. She can tell this part of the story. I'm talking about how the word I can use is a convergence. When God is leading you, there's going to be 2 or 3 witnesses at least. There's going to be a number of factors that are circumstantial, that are this and that, spiritual. You may not get a vision. You may not get a dream. You may not hear a voice. But when God is leading, He will show you that you're not in control of this. I'm in control of this. So, I was getting ordained in the same church, and my bishop had a problem about it because I was away from home. There was no one from my family to witness me being ordained. It's a big thing. But he came back after some time and said, Bheki, I have the release. I'm going to ordain you anyway. I said, fine, whatever you feel, Bishop. I'm ready. So now it's my day of ordination. There were other things happening on the campus that she could have attended and she would have ordinarily have attended. But there I'm going to get ordained. I'm sitting in the front row again. I'm being ordained with 4 or 5 other men of God, ministers. Here she comes through the back door. When she walks in, something came over me. I felt that my family is here. It was an amazing feeling. Meantime, we haven't gone for one date. But when she shows up, the chemistry, the atmosphere in the room changes for me. So she just comes innocently and sits. She's a member of the church. That's when I said, okay, I'm going to ask her out now. So after the ordination, I ask her out and we go on our first date. She has her own story. By that time, she was hearing angels in the room going back and forth saying, Bheki and Sherry, Bheki and Sherry, Bheki and Sherry. So I find out afterwards. So that's why she told you what she told you. That the first time we even went out, I told her, I believe you're my wife. Because I was straight. Remember, I told you I was very straight. So I'm not beating around the bush. So I'm talking about now. So when we have that first date, we both have in our heads that this is not just going out for something to eat. There's something going on here, and I think it's God. We were going to go to a concert, gospel concert, and it was full. We didn't buy the tickets in time. This was spontaneous, so they were full. So we said, let's go to a restaurant. Okay, so we go to the restaurant. We sit down, we order. When we order, God is my witness, a whirlwind started blowing on the table. The one we're eating at. The glory of God showed up, and I saw visions. She saw Jesus, and I saw angels. We dropped our knives and forks and started worshiping God. Right in the restaurant. Lost our appetite. I don't remember if we ate at all. We didn't eat. We took it with us. Hey, Bada, what is this? So I told her that this is what I feel, but you must pray. So she took her time. It was a couple of months. Was it 4 weeks or a month? Okay, she first, yeah, but it was a while before you came back. Now here's the interesting part. Every night, because she was in the computer lab every night until midnight, so we would pray on the phone, the old school. So we'd pray after she's done, for half an hour or something. And sometimes we would worship on the phone. Okay, we would worship background, and then we'd pray. What are we praying for? Well, God's wisdom, guidance. What are you saying, Lord? This particular time, she starts worshiping on the phone. And I'm trying to catch the song, but I don't know the song. The Holy Spirit says, shh. She's singing. Then this recording in my spirit starts playing. It's that voice that I heard 5 years ago. I was so blown away, I said nothing about it. I was blown away because I said, now this is real. This is what, I didn't even know how I'm going to tell a person that I don't know. Sing, let me hear. That would be so off. You know, I knew that God would have to orchestrate this. Now, to me, that anchored it. Okay? But she's still praying. So I didn't disturb that. But I said to myself, I'm going to go on was it 7 days or 14 days Thanksgiving? I said, I'm not going to ask the Lord for anything. Not a shoelace, not a teaspoon, nothing. These 14 days, I'm just going to say, thank you, Ebenezer. Then God speaks to her. Okay, the rest is history. Here's my point, is that when it comes to this bridge, and you have been praying, and you are listening to God, God will not just speak to you in one way. If you get a prophecy from God, He won't tell you this is your wife and so forth. No. But I'm saying you get a revelation, you get a dream, good. But He is going to talk through different ways. And I can't tell how He's going to speak. Okay? He wants you to get the right person. He doesn't want you to be in the bush And so I can't prescribe, and say he's got to speak 5 times on 4 ways. No. But I'm saying that one thing I know about the Lord is that he's faithful to lead and to guide, okay, when it comes to hearing God. But don't depend on dreams. Don't depend on prophecies. Don't depend on visions. Why? They are not promised. Read your Bible. God doesn't promise any dreams. It doesn't promise a vision. It doesn't even promise you a prophecy. But it does promise that he will lead you. They who are led by the Spirit of God, they are the sons of God. So that's my disclaimer there, that don't think that because I heard a voice, I had a vision, I had a dream, angels came, all of that, that is going to happen for you. I want you to understand that's what happened for me, happened for her, but it's not promised to everybody. Okay? Then finally, there's a peace. There'll just be a peace. A peace that settles it. You won't find yourself so much in your head as so much, but you just know in your knower. But let me say this also. It's not that there's only one option in the world, because I had to correct my theology on that there's only one person. That's because of my unique calling. God knew that for me to fulfill my calling, this is the one. But it's not that you're going to, get... Here's the reason why. It's because if there was only one person in the whole world you could marry, the problem is that what if they choose not to? Now I'm condemned for life because my partner is said no or married somebody else. You understand? So understand, God has different options. But there might be a primary one. You understand? So I want to say that also, so that we don't become fixated that, this is the one, and if that doesn't happen, then you're devastated. I didn't know he was getting married in 6 months. I thought he was the one. And now who's the one for me? And all that. No, there's always going to be other options. And so I'm putting it out there that even in this process, what I've found is God will give you options. Okay, he'll give you options. Okay, and even when I was in that space and God began to work between us, it's not that there were no other options. They were there. It's a university. Intelligent, smart, beautiful young women. Okay, they were there. But my thing was, I want the one from God for me. So I'm putting it out there to say that it's not making it extremely simple, but to say this, is that if you're prayerful and you're fasting from time to time about this matter, trust the Lord to lead you. Trust him to lead you. But in something like this, at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, every word shall be established. Don't make a decision on one thing. God didn't just give me that voice as the only thing. He spoke in many ways. And by the way, there were other ways he spoke. Sometimes indirectly, through prophets and all of this. But one thing that we don't do, I just wanted you to know, there's a clear boundary. We don't prophesy about who you're going to marry. That's a whole teaching by itself. It's a prophetic boundary. Okay, it's dangerous territory. Okay, so I didn't get a prophecy to say this is your wife or this is your husband, but many times a prophecy will come in such a way that, I think the Lord is saying this, that kind of thing. Yeah, so that is one of the aspects. But the other aspects are where we have been today about compatibility. Because now you're like, okay, here's a possibility. We are now going to start dating because we see potential. Now you start walking this journey and you're psychologically ticking boxes. Oh, we gel in this, we agree in that. These things are important. Let me give you one more thing. I have to go back to before the voice. Hey, yeah, this is a jungle. There was a young lady at the time that was somehow in my life because I was in ministry. And so I was kind of like unsure. Is this the one? Da, da, da. And to fast forward, the Lord said, let me help you. He said, whatsoever you desire, when you pray, believe, you shall have it. And he said to me, I'm talking about your wife. I said, oh. He said, what do you want? Because this is the problem. He says, here's the problem. You want a wife. I've got many. How are you going to know it's your wife? Just like a Christmas present. You got a Christmas tree, use 30 presents. How are you going to know yours is yours? I'll tell you how. Now, you don't go opening and peeping. You talk to the one wrapping the presents and say, mine is going to be white with red polka dots. Okay, then I will know I'm not going to mess with any other. I'm looking for white with red polka dots. I'm going straight for that one. That one is mine. The Lord said it's as simple as that. Just tell me what you want. That's the wrapping. The content is up to me. Okay. So I started writing. And by the time I was done, I had 27 points. I'm going to throw something at you. She had her own list. She's got her own story of 14 points, what she wanted in her husband. We don't know each other, never met. I had 27. And one of the things that helped me, I'm just going to help you out, with having these conversations with my dad. He says, son, my father, who was an apostle, my dad was an apostle, he said he gave me one piece of advice when it comes to marrying the right life partner. He said, you must think this way. What he said surprised me. I expected something deep and spiritual. It was not. He says, you must think this way. You look at that woman in the face and say to yourself, this is the face that I will see every morning for the rest of my life. Am I willing to live with that? So he was saying, attraction is important. Attraction is important. So one of the things, I thought she must be like this. I want hair like this. I talked about her body. Yeah, it was on my list. I talked about her complexion. Intelligent. This and this. 27 points. And then the spiritual things too. And I thought I was challenging God. I said, okay, you asked for it. 27 points, that's what I want. He said, fine, okay, let me talk to you now. He said, okay, this is a long order. So you must know, just in the restaurant, if you want a special order, you must be willing to wait. But I'm working on it. So when we now are dating, what am I doing? I'm ticking the points. Ticking. This is in place, this is in place. And the compatibility. I didn't have the understanding I have now. You've been blessed. You know, are we gelling in this? Are we in agreement with that? I'm checking. This is all about Romans chapter 12, verse 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto me, which is your reasonable worship. Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will know or test and approve. You read another version. What is the perfect will of God? God's will stands up to testing. You don't just take it. Let the Lord, let it come through the test. What is the test? You've got your desires, you've got your prayers, you've got all the compatibility thing. It will pass the test. Then you will know what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Okay, so I know it sounds more complicated what I'm saying, but basically what I'm saying is that God will confirm in so many ways, in terms of finding that right person, but also becoming the right person is key, So I think I've tried. That's a seminar by itself, by the way. It's a seminar by itself, which is about finding the right life partner. But that's the bridge to be able to come to the point of persuasion, that peace of God to say, I really feel that this is the right person for me. And I've got all the evidence to say I'm on the right path. Let's throw this thing at you. God is so good. If you genuinely follow that process, you then put the responsibility back on God that if you are wrong, He will tell you. He will tell you. The problem is when we want things and we don't consult God and we just go for them. And the Lord says, okay, go for it. And we're not trying to find the will of God. He says, okay, knock yourself out. But if we're genuinely seeking the Lord, believe me, He will order our steps. Okay? He will direct our paths. And He will confirm it in many different ways, which I have not mentioned that were not relevant in my life. But believe me, we know that God will get you across that bridge. Amen? Okay. You had something to add? To ask, yes. Did you get your question answered, please? Somewhat. At least you're honest. I tried. But as I say, this is a workshop. This is a workshop. And this was not on the agenda this time. But next time we'll put it. Yes.
Apostle, my question is more on what is the right dating etiquette when it comes to, what is the right etiquette when it comes to letting, people in before, marriage, before you and your partner now get to the step of marriage? So, I'm a Bheki girl. In my culture, you don't bring anyone home until he has paid lobola. Right? So, biblically, what would be the right etiquette to involve family members? Which family members? What's the,
Okay. I'll take a stab at that one. Knowing that we have this progression from dating to courtship to marriage. Okay, this is in this space. The first thing is to really settle whether it's the right person or not. Okay, you're dating, you're going to watch movies, you're going to restaurants and whatever, you're going for walks and all of this, and you're praying. Now, once you come to a place of persuasion that, yes, we feel that this is the one, we believe this is it. The first place you go to is your parents. You don't come to the pastor. You first go to your parents. And maybe they already know that person because they're your friend and you bumped into each other, whatever. But now you're going to go officially and say, can I introduce you to this individual? This is the person that I believe God has blessed me with. We feel the same way. And we need your blessing. That's important. It's very important. Let me just be open about something. When my wife and I were talking and dating and all of that, and we came to the point, I told her, I said, honey, I'm an African. I'm going back to Africa. You're an American. You're one of two children. There's only two of you. with your mom and dad. So I want you to know, I'm going to talk to your parents to get their blessing, because I will not marry you without their blessing. She's my witness. So when I first went to Philadelphia, it was Jericho. The walls were high. Hey, it was tough. I said to her, honey, you remember what we said? I am not marrying you until your parents give us their blessing. Not just allow us to be married. Permission is not a blessing. You can get permission without a blessing. I said, okay, that's what you do. But a blessing, we need their blessing. It's tough. But now they want, hey, this is a small family. 2 children. This is their prized daughter. She's gone to university. She's getting degrees and all this. Now I want to come and take her to a place they've never been. It's tough. So we started fasting and praying. Meantime, I end up in Canada and Swaziland. 2 years, a long-distance relationship. But every Wednesday was our fasting day. We were praying that her parents would release her with their blessing. That was our prayer request. I'm not going to marry her without the blessing. I don't want to get into marriage without a blessing. Not from the church, from the parents first. It took 2 years. When she graduated, finally, after 2 years, they finally, and I saw it, this was their blessing. That's when we went on to get married. Okay? I can't overemphasize that. I don't care if your parents are wicked. I don't care if they abandoned you as a child. I don't care if they're sangomas. There's a blessing. They must bless this thing. So, that was our green light to go to the next thing. We got the parents' blessing. Okay, now we're going to get the blessing of the church, which was the wedding. And so we planned the wedding and got the blessing. There are 3 blessings that you need. In fact, 3 blessings you need in a marriage. The first is parents, whoever raised you, that you can call your parent. 2 is the blessing of God in the house of the Lord by a minister. It doesn't have to be in church, but a minister to bless the wedding from God. The third is the state. That's your marriage certificate. Got to have 3 blessings. So that's the path we took. Okay? And so your question was that progression is that once you know, then you go to your parents and you get their blessing. Approval, blessing. I know there's many questions there that can come up, but it's the principle of the matter. Okay? Then from there, now you go to your pastor and to arrange the wedding and all of that. And while you're doing that, you're going to what you call home affairs, or you get a marriage officer that's going to, before the wedding, within a week, is going to do the legal document of marriage, which means the blessing of the state. Okay, so that when you're done, you've got 3 blessings. Okay, so that is the progression. I hope I've answered your question. I know within that there's many other things you can get into, but has that satisfied your question so far? Okay. Right. These things are very, very important. Remember, I talked about the power of the blessing. Okay? Power of the blessing. And you know what? When the Lord turned the hearts of her parents, it wasn't out of malice or hate. They loved me from the start. I mean, I'm that kind of guy. But the problem was taking her away to Africa. I was playing with open cards. I wasn't deceptive. I've got a call on my life. we're going to the ministry. Your daughter's coming to Africa. We'll visit whenever we can. But I want to be clear that this is my intention and I need your blessing. I never pressed them, never forced them. But when they turned, and this happened literally within not even a month of, the wedding, because they approved. And so I went on that. So we're planning the wedding. But when I saw that their hearts had really turned, oh my goodness, they just went to town for us. The expenses of the wedding and all of this. And we didn't have the money. And I could see their hearts, that they had blessed us. It was a beautiful thing. In fact, the Lord had given us a word. He said that they're going to be your greatest allies in your marriage. And so I'm just encouraging somebody right now, because sometimes that's where things get clogged up in the system for whatever reason, and there's problems, you're not agreeing, or whatever, you're not getting the blessing. Make sure you get that blessing. It's so, so important. I really believe that we wouldn't have made it as far as we have without those blessings. It was not a problem on my side, but on her side. Yeah, but they became our greatest allies, and blessed us in so many ways, financially and so forth. They're just wonderful people, and that's what you want after you're married. Because if you don't get that blessing, they're going to stand back and say, we will see. And you'll be alone, and you need support. You need a backup system in the marriage. Even if they're not Christian. Love is love. Your parents love you. Whether people believe it or not, they love you. They want what's best for you. Now, there are rare cases where the devil gets into parents. I understand that. But God will give you a way to navigate around that. Spiritual parents, which is, yes. If you don't have natural parents, then maybe a spiritual parent, which is like your mentors and so forth, or an aunt, someone who loves the Lord, that can represent the family in a legitimate way. But that is key. And because life is long, guys. Those children that are coming need a gogo. They need an umkhulu. They need a malume. They need bo auntie. So you must make sure from the beginning that you are not creating problems for yourself in the future when those say, when now you need us, hamba. Not, let's put that in somewhere else, because you forced this thing on us. We didn't want it. We didn't approve. You were not finished with your studies and this. We said you must finish. You didn't finish. Blah, 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 blah. All of those things start come up later, and then you find yourself struggling alone. Marriage needs a support system. It really does. And we found that because we did that on both sides, whenever we needed the support, it was there for us as a family. So, my sisters and brothers, I hope that today you have received plenty to fill you, and you also have space for next time. Ne? So that, and tell us if you have questions, areas you want us to focus on next time. In fact, that's the last exercise I want you to do. I don't know if there's a piece of paper or we can circulate, or a card or something, Pastor Lunga. If anyone's got some paper to, what I'm having in mind now is not only, I need number one is your attendance, but number two, I need you to be able to, I think you know my WhatsApp number. If you have any questions, just send them to me, or any area you want to deal with next time.